let's move on now because the water crisis in Nelson Mandela Bay Metro is continuing. Dams there are running dry and without significant rainfall on the way. The municipality says it's facing an unprecedented natural disaster. Let's talk further about this with Water Crisis Committee member in the Metro, Anthony Martel. Anthony, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time and your patience today as we dealt with that story in the Joburg CBD. First things first, how bad is the situation? What is the current situation as far as water supply in Nelson Mandela Bay Metro? Does every household, every person have access to running tap water?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for allowing the Water Crisis Committee a space. Well, at the moment, what we're seeing are the installation of water taps across the different areas of the city. What we're watching right now is the formation of some kind of water apartheid. You have 7 taps in Mount Pleasant, same in William Moffett and Walmer. But when you go talk to people in the northern areas, they'll tell you there aren't any taps. And we're starting to see, and this is not new, that there have been intermittent water outages without any warning that have been occurring in different townships. But this is going to be a very uneven process. The western areas of the municipality are not currently, some western areas in the municipality are not currently facing water outages. So, and what this is equating to is in effect a form of water shedding. So
what then is being done about what you say is an emerging trend of water apartheid in the metro?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
What is being done to address that emerging inequality, shall we say, as far as who is able to access water at this point?
Well, this is the rollout of this mitigation plan to deal with this oncoming day zero. These are the water taps that are being put in to address the fact that these dams are not going to be able to supply water to everyone. So even in this plan to deal with the crisis, this is what's occurring. Let alone the fact that, residents in communities in places like Motherwell and Boyson's Park and Uitenhage are saying that, depending on the day, they're not going to have water. And this isn't a common experience either for some of these communities in the western part of the city either.
Is the city responding fast enough to the need?
Well, last week the municipality signed a bunch of contracts. Their plan is to have all of the water leaks, this backlog of 4,000 water leaks, to be completed by Friday. So this is a war on the leaks. So the Water Crisis Committee, doesn't have much faith in the municipality that they, first of all, have the capacity to achieve this, and second of all, that based on their past history of corrupt dealings in doling out contracts, that this is going to happen. So, the Water Crisis Committee is going to mobilize residents to monitor these leaks and to monitor these teams who are going out there to fix these leaks.
You talk about the leaks. The latest reporting on the leaks in the metro is that the backlog there is at over 3,000 cases. What chance then is there of saving any of this precious resource at this time if so many of the leaks are still waiting to be patched up?
That's right. It's very dire, and what's going to happen if, what's the case in Kocha municipality, where they're already talking about water shedding. This is already an ailing infrastructure. If you have to start water shedding, you're going to see more pipe bursts, which means that we're going to be dealing with a much worse problem than we already are. So we're already losing this precious resource that we have very little of, and the prospect of losing even more means that this process of losing water is going to compound on itself. So we have to be looking at how are we going to be able to save water. We have to be able to be looking at communities to who know their areas to do some community mapping. There's a leak here, there's a leak there. How are we going to be talking to residents and communities about how we can come up with solutions to conserve water? How can we come up with tanks, for people to save water? Right now, the municipalities answer, because people are afraid that they're going to be losing water, is to send police in and monitor these allegations of people storing water. So the answer from the municipality is police and surveillance.
Right.
I've even seen a story of Israeli company that uses its satellites to monitor leaks under cities' infrastructures. I mean, why not just go next door and talk to the people in the community?
Let me ask you then on the issue of the community, because in some of the other articles, it's being reported that the people in NMB are still using, and I want to get the number right here, 60 megaliters more of water per day. How much worse does that make the situation, and how do you think people have been responding to an earlier plea by the municipality for them to use water sparingly?
Right. Well, I think just like where the water is cut off and where it remains flowing, the issue of consumption is also uneven. So, the question is, who is actually using, over-consuming water? This is a very, because we don't want to end up in a situation where, we're blaming the victim where there is undue cause for doing so. Are people using sprinklers on their lawns? I mean, this is something that we really have to look into. That doesn't necessarily not mean that we shouldn't also be, like I said before, having municipal officials reaching down to communities and having some kind of popular education about how can we best use water, and also those communities, those residents have ideas, very important ideas, that can be provided to municipalities. One of which that came from a community meeting I was in was about training people to recycle their gray water.
Anthony Martel, good to speak to you. Thank you very much.